Now that the spring has finally begun, it is time to learn. What does he mean by that? How does that correlate? Well, I have no idea. But I just wanted to say that the spring is finally here. At least astronomically, I guess. There are two calendary. I believe this is the astronomical. I should look that up. Anyways, ways to learn online without being enrolled in traditional education systems, whatever the motivation for you is. I believe if you're watching this, you kind of have an innate motivation to get some further education, to learn some new things, but you might not know where. Have you heard of the internet? This might be really bad advice for someone, but the thing is, there's all sorts of information on the internet available. The question is where to find reliable ones, where to get good quality information. And so that's where I want to shine some light on. As well as I want this video to become a kind of a lighthouse for people that want to get some further education, whether it's after graduating from high school, taking a gap year throughout university, even graduating from university and just wanting to learn to get some more knowledge. That's what I wish this video to become for other people. So, another simple advice might be just buy a book on a certain topic. Just, I believe with a little bit of effort, you will be able to find a book on anything you wish to study and apply that knowledge. And while that works, let's see what I want to show you now. What you're going to get, of course, in this world, it seems that is somehow related to whether you want to pay or not, although it doesn't have to, it definitely doesn't have to correlate with the quality exactly. I will start with free resources and we'll work our way up towards some other paid options. So let's start with simply promoting YouTube as a great platform. So whatever it is you're trying to learn, just try putting it into YouTube or into Google to get more broad results. And on YouTube, I mean, from my experience, I have just learned a ton over the years, and it's not a short time I've been watching YouTube. Whether it's you want to learn how to fix a car, whether it's you want to learn engineering, whether it's you want to learn music, there's all sorts of content, whatever, that's not grammatically correct. There are all sorts of things you can learn on YouTube, and it's a beautiful way because it's free, at least mostly, I guess. And just the community is, it's a good way to start. Now, moving on. And I almost forgot to mention that on YouTube, there are things like Harvard's CS50 IT course, which is pretty much a whole university course, which is like really, really high quality lectures on IT, on the basics from Harvard. So that's awesome. It happened somehow throughout the pandemic that they decided to share those lectures online for free, which is great. And I'm also sure that you can find similar lectures. Perhaps Harvard has some others. Perhaps other universities do share some information. So this is really good. Like, I mean, you can just, put your legs up on the table and, start watching in wherever your computer is. So you can use artificial intelligence for learning, although it seems that some of the models require a subscription to be able to research up-to-date information on the internet. But nevertheless, I'm going to mention that I'm using ChatGPT more often. I'm using Perplexity Pro, the paid version, which works quite well if I want to research some topics. So that's also a great way to gather information. The internet, you can find things such as Understanding Deep Learning, which is a 2020 book from Simon Prince about artificial intelligence, deep learning, and things related to that. And this is kind of a book that is pretty it's not for everyone, but I'm just putting it out there if you're interested in learning about the mechanics behind that. It works as a kind of a workbook. There are problems to solve, and on the internet you can find actually solved problems from the book. So it's a great way to learn on your own. You don't have to really take up a course. I try to do that. I haven't really gone much far. And something like a mentor or perhaps the author would be really nice if I had their guidance while reading that book, because it's really comprehensive. But I believe if you have a good enough goal, you can achieve that. I mean, understanding deep learning. One of the first statements in that book is that as of now, writing the book, no one really understands how deep learning works, not even the author. So I found that kind of funny. Anyways, and now I want to get to some, perhaps, I wanted to say more interesting, but now as I come to think of it, just other alternatives to learn, but this time they're paid. So starting up with a favorite of mine. Now, to say I'm not sponsored by any of these, but I just find that they might be useful, and I'm very satisfied with this one. So, Peterson Academy. What Peterson Academy is kind of an attempt to create an online university, and they are trying to achieve that by basically building a social network, social media network, kind of. However, the main focus there is that there are lectures available from great lecturers, actually, from even Ivy League universities in Cambridge. And to note that, what's important to know that most of the content is on humanities. However, you can find things such as close to medicine. There's some biology. There are some. There's cosmology, a great course from Brian Keating. I can recommend that. There are courses on Plato, history, whatever it is that you kind of want to get some knowledge on. There's plenty of stuff to say, and they kind of are adding more and more courses than they had promised. I think they had promised to add one course a month, and now it's like 3 courses a month. So it's really hard to catch up with all of that there is. What's important to note, like my observation is that the content is really good quality. The lecturers are really educated in what they're actually preaching and teaching. Now the length of the courses is usually somewhere between 6 to 9 lectures, about an hour long. So it could kind of correspond to a whole semester of a university course. Perhaps this is a little shorter, but they kind of make their effort to go through as much material as possible. So I kind of had the idea that this covers, it is kind of packed, which is quite good, provided that you can pause the videos, and there are subtitles and a complete transcript, which you can go back to if you want to read something what the lecturer said. Anyways, it includes pretty much a social media platform. So there's like a timeline. There is like there are personal messages, and yeah, this could be a great way for you. I really do love it. There's Masterclass, which is kind of a different project. It doesn't have as much comprehensive courses as Peterson Academy, so it's quite something different. But if you want to get some inspiration on whether it be cooking, whether it be perhaps negotiation, there's some content with Chris Voss, some other sales stuff, and some business stuff, and things like that. There's some interesting content from, I would say, people from the field, people that got experience. Although sometimes it almost leads to being a presentation of them, and in some cases I haven't found there to be really hard hard data content. But there is something, if you want it to serve as an inspiration, is great. So go check out that. It's also there's also a subscription. And the last what I'm gonna share is CODEACADEMY, which I do not have experience with, so I'm just putting it out there for you if you're interested. But the thing is, if you want to learn coding and you want to learn it on your own, just with the internet access and their subscription, which is not as high, but it's good to know that there is some monthly subscription needed for it to be presented to you. It's a great way to do so, because apparently it seems that they provide kind of a structured material for all sorts of programming languages, starting with Python, going to C and Java, whatever it is that you need. And they also seem to provide some kind of certificates which could be perhaps valid for a job application. So, I mean, if you intrinsically want to learn how to code, or perhaps have a project that you want to work on and don't know how to code but need that, well, go ahead. And of course, you can find a ton of coding content on YouTube, but this seems to be quite well structured. I do not have experience, just putting it out there to say. Good. Fine. For me, the internet has played an integral part in learning throughout my life. And although I do have to give credit to the public education system, there are some downsides to that, such as that it's not as modular as one would like, and it might not give you the exact education you need in the time you need it. So what happened to me, for example, is that in the fourth year of high school, I wasn't really interested in Plato, and now I'm eager to learn it. So it kind of comes down to when you're ready for that information. And I believe overall in life, if you're ready to learn something, a teacher shows up in some kind of way, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be in real life, wherever. And I also do believe that if you need it for life, you learn it. So those are kind of two beliefs that I shared with you. Anyway, how to conclude this? I might want to say that, yeah, just go ahead, enjoy, have a good life out there. The sun is starting to shine immensely, and I like that. So till then, see you, perhaps. Yeah, perhaps to conclude this, great way would be to promote literature, really. So I have mentioned a book on a specific topic, but just, maybe getting the habit to really picking a book that you're interested in and reading it would be helpful for today's society, because I don't know. I don't have these statistics, but it feels that the society doesn't read as much. I don't know. I don't want to be the one who says that, today's young generation is so spoiled and no, nothing like that. But it just feel like we could be learning much more if we really picked the books that we're interested in and learn from them. So I believe that's a good way to conclude this video. Now, what I want to what I want to ask you to do, if there's any type of resource, any type of website, or some kind of platform that you know that provides great content, whether it be free or paid, just share it in the comments. I believe others will appreciate it as well as perhaps I will. So this can serve as a kind of a lighthouse for all sorts of things, all sorts of topics and fields on the internet. Anyways, Have a beautiful life. I will end it right here.